Okay, let's just dive right into this. Tonight, when you finally turn off the lights and lie in bed, I really want you to realize something absolutely fascinating. You are playing host to a ticking biological time bomb. Seriously, right now, nestled somewhere inside your abdomen, there is a piece of anatomy that has baffled scientists, terrified patients, and sparked endless debates in the medical world. Welcome to our explainer today, where we're going to explore a completely new perspective on the human appendix. For the longest time, we've basically viewed this tiny organ as nothing more than a massive liability, right? Like just a dormant threat waiting to ruin your week, or honestly much worse. But what if we've had it all wrong? What if this little time bomb is actually a masterclass in evolutionary engineering? Well, let's find out.
So think about this for a second. A 1 in 20 chance. Roughly 5% of people are going to experience the sudden, sharp, and truly agonizing rupture of their own appendix at some point in their lives. We're talking about this small, kind of worm-like pouch attached right at the junction of your small and large intestine. It really doesn't look like much, but man, when it decides to act up, it demands immediate, drop-everything emergency medical intervention. It's an organ that sends hundreds of thousands of people to the operating table every single year. It's incredibly common, it's incredibly painful, and without modern surgery, it can literally be fatal.
Which brings us to a really massive, glaring question. Why keep a design that actively tries to kill us? Think about how evolution works. Generally speaking, nature is pretty ruthless when it comes to efficiency. If something is a heavy liability, if a part of your anatomy regularly threatens the survival of your species before they can even reproduce, millions of years of evolution will typically just weed it out. Yet, here we are, still walking around with this risky little pouch. It introduces this massive paradox. Why in the world would nature preserve an organ that frequently threatens our lives? Could it be that something so apparently dangerous is actually serving a secret, vital purpose that we just couldn't see?
Section 1. Unlocking the Secret Sanctuary. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer contrast in how this organ has been viewed over time. For decades, medical textbooks just kind of dismiss the appendix as a useless evolutionary mistake, a completely pointless organ we'd be better off without. Charles Darwin himself looked at the appendix and suggested it was just a useless remnant from our ancestors' leaf-eating days, basically a shriveled-up leftover of a larger digestive tract. Case closed, right? Well, actually, scratch that. Enter researchers at Duke University. They started looking a little deeper into this mysterious structure and completely challenged Darwin's whole assumption. When they actually analyzed the thick, pinkish walls of the organ, they discovered that the appendix is absolutely not empty. It's not a shriveled, useless sac at all. It is, in fact, a highly specialized sanctuary. They redefined it entirely, not as a mistake, but as a biological insurance policy, a high-security bunker for your gut microbiome.
To really understand why you even need a biological bunker, we have to consider what it's protecting. Your gut microbiome is this wildly complex, bustling city of bacteria living right inside your digestive system. Think of it almost like a sprawling, highly populated metropolis functioning entirely within you. And these aren't bad bacteria. These are vital, life-sustaining organisms. They break down and digest your food, they extract the nutrients, and they play a massive role in regulating your entire immune system. Without this specific gut flora, you literally cannot survive for very long. You and your microbiome are in this constant, delicate partnership. But, just like any major city, this ecosystem is totally vulnerable to disaster.
Section 2. The ultimate reboot button. And that brings us to exactly how this dangerous little pouch actually ends up saving our lives. Imagine you contract a really severe illness, something like cholera or dysentery, or maybe you just take a very heavy aggressive course of modern antibiotics. These events can act like a biological scorched earth policy within your body. They don't just target the bad bugs, they wipe out everything. They completely obliterate your entire internal population of healthy bacteria, leaving that bustling digestive city totally empty, desolate, and incredibly vulnerable to dangerous pathogens moving in and taking over. Your system is effectively wiped completely clean, and you are left in a very perilous state.
Now let's walk through exactly how this works step by step, because it sets up an incredible survival mechanism. Step 1. That severe illness or antibiotic wipes out your gut flora, ravaging the main digestive tract. It's an absolute wasteland. But then Step 2 kicks in. Because of its narrow, tucked-away anatomy, the appendix acts as a literal bunker. Deep inside it has kept a diverse, healthy colony of your unique bacteria safely locked away from all the carnage happening right next door. It's literally protecting the master copy of your microbiome. And finally, Step 3. Once the primary danger passes and that hostile environment clears up, the appendix essentially just opens its doors. It releases its hidden reserves, repopulating your gut and acting as a system-wide reboot button. It seeds the barren wasteland with fresh, healthy bacteria, bringing you right back from the brink.
Section 3. An imperfect survival vault. It is an absolutely astonishing mechanism, for sure, but it definitely brings us to a complex realization about our anatomy. If this reboot function is so vital, is it the exact reason we evolved to keep the organ despite its massive explosive risks? Well, William Parker, the lead researcher at Duke, realized we can actually find the answer by looking at the rest of the animal kingdom. Look at how koalas, rabbits, and some rodents share this exact same anatomical structure. For them, it serves as a massive, critical cellulose fermentation chamber. Basically, it helps them break down all that tough plant matter they eat. But contrast that with humans. We lost that specific heavy plant-based dietary need millions of years ago. We don't need a huge fermentation chamber anymore. But instead of letting evolution completely erase the organ over time, we essentially just renovated it. We repurposed it into a survival shelter, a high-security vault for our bacteria. We kept the architecture, but we entirely changed the business operating inside.
So the crucial takeaway is really this. We have to completely reframe our understanding of the appendix. It is absolutely not some useless leftover relic of a distant past. It is a highly specialized, high-security vault guarding your most vital inner ecosystem. But because of its narrow, bottleneck design, which, ironically, is the very design that makes it such a great bunker, it is highly prone to getting blocked. And when it gets blocked, it leads to infection, massive inflammation, and that life-threatening rupture we talked about right at the start. It's a dangerous, imperfect, and yet totally brilliant evolutionary solution to a deeply hostile world. We evolved to survive catastrophic illnesses even if our own biology sometimes gets in the way and puts us at risk. The paradox is very real. Perhaps the most dangerous part of your body is simultaneously your greatest lifeline in an absolute emergency.
I want to leave you with this one final, really powerful thought to chew on. Your body is a record of every battle you have already won. The human body isn't some flawlessly engineered machine perfectly designed on a computer. It's a living, breathing history book of survival patched together over millions of years of trial, error, and brutal adaptation. Your appendix is literal proof that nature will gladly accept a little bit of danger if it means securing your ultimate survival when the worst-case scenario hits. So the next time you think about your biology, ask yourself, what other hidden brilliance is masking itself